What is going on to all my Only Murders in the Building fans out there, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. We are back discussing this second season, episode 8, which was titled Hello Darkness, an episode that took a while to kind of find its footing, but when it did, it gave us a very big reveal about the man behind the mask, but more importantly, the glitter behind their ear. Now the question is, what's their motives? But more importantly, who are they working for or working with? We got a lot to discuss in today's spoiler review, but before we get into the breakdown, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the community. If you enjoy early movie reviews, daily and weekly TV breakdowns, and live discussions, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. If you are watching this video, I really appreciate you. Make sure if you enjoyed today's video to give it a thumbs up as well as sharing it. But more importantly, y'all see those comments down there? Light them up with your highs, your lows, favorite moments, least favorite moments, and of course, your thoughts, your theories, and predictions about the detective and the glitter, the motives, who are they working for or with, but also, let's talk about Howard's crush and that sneeze sounding very similar to the night that Lucy found the killer behind the walls, the night that Bunny died. Let's talk about it in the comments below. With all that being said, full spoilers ahead as we open the episode with our fan club not believing in the team figuring this case out before the police do, while Marv has a theory of his own about this 6th Avenue slasher who was never caught, but no one wants to listen to him. And I have a theory that I want to share with you all towards the end of this video regarding him impressing his daughter, getting back in the goodwill of his daughter. I have a theory who that daughter might be. You want to stick around for that. But going back into the conversation, we see that our crew is looking for cell phone service. While Oliver does get service, he gets the email. The results about the DNA are, we still don't know. I think there's a reason why we don't know. There is a huge reveal coming with that. It might come next week. It might come in the finale. Hell, they might save it for season 3. A lot of you all think that William might be the killer. You might be onto something, but there is a reason why they haven't given us those DNA tests. Go ahead and start to speculate in the comments now. As we see that the rest of the building's residents are very upset about the blackout. We finally catch up to Nina in this episode for the first time in weeks. And we also see that Howard has his eyes on a new guy who is subletting on his floor, while Oliver has to leave the dips behind because they have to save Lucy. Again, that new guy is so coincidental. There's a new guy subleasing. My eyes are on you, especially when it comes to your allergies, sir. We'll get to that here in a bit. But speaking of Lucy, she has come across the killer who has arrived to Charles's place with a knife in hand, ready to kill. And I'm going to be honest with you all. I was a little nervous for Lucy. I mean, the way that they kind of shot that scene, obviously they're in the dark, the score kind of kicked in. That was a very chilly moment. Let me know if you all were fearful of her life at that moment. I really enjoyed this quieter moment between our two characters, Lester and Nina, as they're talking about Bunny. And I feel so bad for Lester. Number one, Nina was being a jerk to him, talking about, come upstairs, give me my package. I understand she just had a baby. I understand she's stressed, but the guy's a good guy. When he talks about feeling bad about the killer probably walked right past him, which I don't think is the case because there's secret doors and behind the alley places. So I don't know if he like literally walked past Lester to kill Bunny that night, but I really enjoyed that conversation they had. But I have a question for you all. Where the hell is Nina's baby daddy, the partner, husband, boyfriend? Where the hell has he been? Do we still believe that he might have something to do with it, or he's just, again, another red herring that the show loves to give us? I don't know. It's a reason why he's not involved, and I'm very curious about that. Go ahead and start to speculate on that in the comment section. As we cut back to, I'm not going to lie, guys, when our team continuously kept pausing and taking breaks, knowing that this little girl is about to maybe die or maybe getting killed as they are breaking and talking and conversating, I'm like, come on. I know you guys are a little bit older, referring to Charles and Oliver, but come on, guys. Can we get a little bit more pep in our step? But we see that Howard has his crush over, and we see that the whole crew and everyone in the building starting to sing. And again, when I mentioned that the show, this episode kind of was slow at points, a lot of that stuff to me was a little bit filler. It wasn't really working for me personally. I was entertained at those moments, but I'm like, can we get to the important stuff here? There's a girl running for her life, which the annoyance slows down very quickly, because as we get into this scene here, we see Howard is going in to kiss his crush, and it is mentioned that his crush is allergic to cats, and he sneezes. Now, again, I don't think it's a coincidence that they make it very obvious that they sneeze, because if you all remember, when they open the episode, they always show us the previously on. And they showed that exact same scene in the moment when Lucy came across the killer and they sneeze. I don't think it's a coincidence that they showed that at the beginning of the episode and they have this moment emphasizing that this new crush is allergic to cats. One can speculate that when Lucy caught him in the walls, that happened to be near Howard's place, hence the allergies, hence the sneezing, hence the coincidence. Oh, this new guy that one of our, secondary characters has a thing for just kind of pops up in the blue. I don't think so. I do not think so. Again, I've been saying it for weeks. I believe that there are multiple killers involved in this season. I think there's a puppet master doing all this behind the scenes, which we'll talk about here in a second. But again, did you all, when you heard him sneeze, did you immediately go back to that scene? Let's talk about that in the comments below. Lucy finds the team and tells them that the night that she saw the killer, that she mentioned something very distinctively, which was the sneeze. And then we see that someone in a blue jumpsuit is chasing them. We get a reveal here in a second here, as it is revealed that it is Marv. As we wrap up the episode, Nina gives a promotion to Lester to be the director of resident support. We see that Howard goes back to I don't know if they give him a name. He goes back to his crush's apartment and he says, "Can we go on a date?" He's like, "Oh, I would be more than happy to go on a date. Please don't get rid of your cats." Again, okay, he might not be the killer, but I think there's something to be said about that sneeze, but we'll see. Again, if you fall in love with anyone in this building, they're probably going to be the killer. So let's finish wrapping up the episode. As the time at hand, question Marv. He wants to protect Lucy, and she pretty much confirms the story that he wasn't the guy, and obviously they were wearing different clothes. As we see, Marv wants to help out the team, but more importantly, and he keeps mentioning this, that he has a rift with his daughter. He wants to impress his daughter. He wants to help the crew figure out this case so he can look cool in front of his daughter. I don't know if Marv has ever specifically said how, if his daughter, I can't remember, did he say she was younger or she was a full-on adult? If she's an adult, what if the daughter at hand is Cinda? Or more importantly, what if it's Poppy? I might be completely way off on this because, again, something in the back of my head said that he mentioned his daughter, that she was younger, maybe a teenager or early 20s. But if she is older, what if it's one of those two characters, maybe someone else entirely? Let me know your thoughts on all that as we finish the episode here with the big moment at hand. I know a lot of you all were at home theorizing about this for weeks, and I was just like, a police officer being the killer? As we wrap up the episode, we see that Detective Cripps is there and he's talking to Lucy very creepily and being very suspicious. And we see that Howard accidentally bumps into him. He turns his attention to Howard. Meanwhile, Mabel, being the great detective that she is, notices a bit of glitter behind his ear, speculating, kind of confirming that was the man that got the glitter bomb, and that is one who I believe of the killers to be. What a great moment, because again, some of the stuff, as I mentioned in the episode, just was a little bit slow and just was, I like the moment between Nina and Lester and all that stuff, but like the singing and them taking pauses while Lucy's being chased by a killer, some of that stuff didn't really work for me. But that reveal is pretty huge. Now, speculation here now. Let's have that discussion. If we are to assume that the detective is the killer, why? What's their motives? Is it tied into anything with Rose Cooper? Are they working for someone? Cinda being that big puppet master I was talking about, or Poppy? Y'all know how I feel about Poppy. She's just too good to be true, right? We all know that with Jan last season. But also, I want to remind you all, they did this to us last year. Episode 8 was the moment that they caught Theo and Teddy, and they just assumed that they also, they found out everything was Zoe, but they just assumed that they were also the killer of Tim. And y'all remember how that played out with my theory. Jan was ultimately the killer who killed Tim. I think they're doing something very similar where they're alluding to the detective being the one behind the killing of Bunny, but we all know this show has other mysteries to be solved. Like, for example, as I put on the screen now, who wrote this letter to Jan? We never got that big reveal, but also we still don't know any more information about the painting. What's the secret that Alice has about her parents and her dad? Also, we have all this stuff going on with, again, I feel like Cinda and Poppy and someone else is involved in these secret walls, and there's just so many more questions to be had. So again, it seems very obvious that the detective is the killer with the glitter behind their ear, but I think there's a lot to be said, and there's more to this mystery. But hey, again, this wasn't my favorite episode, but I do really enjoy this big reveal that we have at the end of this episode. And again, Nina and her baby daddy, where the hell is he? What's the deal with William? Why don't we have the result of the DNA test? What's still going on with Teddy and Theo? We got 2 more episodes to figure that out. But hey, thank you all for watching this video. Again, if you stuck around to this point in the video, do me a favor, in the comments below, leave me a emoji with a question mark, because we got a lot of questions. If you're at this point in the video, leave a question mark in the comments and let me know your questions, your theories, your predictions, what worked, what didn't work for you all in the comments below. Again, I thank you all for the continued support. Before you leave the video, give it a thumbs up, share it, comment below, and of course, if you're watching this, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. You all are awesome. Hope you're staying safe. As you can see on the screen now, come and join the community. Check out my other reviews for this amazing show. Check out my most recent review, and we'll catch you all on the next breakdown.